So does anyone know anything about Hinduism here?
Not so much.
No? Nothing?
We haven't reached to that yet.
Does anyone have experience here in some sort of spirituality, spiritual practice of any sort? No? No one comes?
Like other religions?
Yeah, any religion. You have some? What is it?
I'm a Christian.
Uh-huh.
I pray twice a day.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so this is a Hindu temple, as you see. It's a small Hindu temple, and we're all called yogis, the people who live here, and we're a mixed crowd. Most of the people who live here. This is not only a Hindu temple, but it's an ashram too. And ashram, have you ever heard this term ashram before? No? Ashram is a community that's based on spiritual seekers, usually of the Vedic tradition or Hinduism. So ashram is basically a community of spiritual seekers that live together, people that live together. So this place is a part of our organization, which is called Vishwa Mandalam, and it's also an ashram. It's not just a Hindu temple. In our tradition, in our culture, spiritual culture, we use this form of ashram in many places. This is a lot of spiritual seekers gather together, live with a spiritual master, and study from him and practice together. And it's a commune. It's a spiritual commune. I want to give you a little general background about Hinduism in general. Hinduism is a little different than most religions in some major aspects that I want to mention. One of the first things that Hinduism differs from other religions is that Hinduism doesn't have any founder. No founder. Like Judaism, founder, anyone can say founder in... Would you guys speak? I'm sorry. You are from? Yeah, so there's no founder. Like in Judaism you have Moses, Christianity you have Christ, in Buddhism you have Buddha. Hinduism there is no founder. And the reason for that is Hinduism, that the religion that we follow is also called Santana Dharma. That's the other name. And Santana Dharma means the eternal religion. So really this path, Hinduism, is not about a founder, and it's not about a book of some sort or a message from God. It's more about a realization. A realization more like a spiritual experience. A realization. Hinduism also called Sanatana Dharma because it is the religion of that realization, and that realization is not something that happened at one point to someone. It has always been and will always be. So in other words, the Vedic tradition or Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma really deals with the experience of enlightenment. Did you ever hear of that term, enlightenment? Yeah. So it's the experience of enlightenment, and enlightenment is not it's not something that you can chronologically put in a specific time that happened to someone. Enlightenment is really the nature of existence, of reality. But according to the message from the masters and the realized and enlightened beings, enlightenment is something that basically happens right now to any one of you, but you simply are not aware of it. And in the same way, Hinduism and the Vedic tradition, Sanatana Dharma, only expresses this is a path that deals with this experience, and therefore there is no founder, because this realization has always been. It's always been the reality. Have you ever heard the term of Maya? Did you ever hear that term, Maya? Mm-hmm. Maya is a term that we often use as yogis and spiritual seekers, and that means illusion. So really, there is, according to our philosophy, there is the reality, and there is not the reality, what we call illusion. As simply we are not aware of the reality because of things that are happening in our mind, because of our mind. Do you mind, can you, there's a little round thing there, if you can just, yeah, all the way down. Thank you very much. So, we are not aware of the reality because of our mind. So all of us, the people that live here, we gather together not because of faith or because of a belief, even though there is. Hinduism is very complex. We'll talk about it further, but we gather here because we are really all seekers of enlightenment. And we gather around our spiritual master. The picture is behind me, and he's an enlightened master. He experiences what I just mentioned before, which is called enlightenment. So we all gathered around him to learn from him, to study from him. It's not that kind of spiritual study is very different from any type of other study. It's not something that you can read in the book and then follow. It's not something that you can know or memorize and then say, oh, I know what it is. In fact, enlightenment is not something that you can learn by the method of knowing. It's impossible to know enlightenment. The only way is really to realize it. And realization refers to a direct experience, which is beyond the mind. Because everything, see, the way that we know things in this world, the way that we know our country, and now you are touring around the U.S. and you get to know the U.S., you get to know, all sorts of places here. All this process of knowing is just more of a process of memory. You are putting more information in your mind. More information and more information. Now this process of putting information in your mind, this is something that you've been doing since you were born. When you were born, your parents told you, oh, your name is this, your name is this. This is good thing to do, this is bad thing to do. You should strive for this goal or that goal, you should be like that, you should be like that. Then you go to the school, to the kindergarten, and the society also influence, you should be like that, you should be like that. So we have accumulated, all of our life, we have accumulated how we should be. But who we really are is very difficult for us to experience. Who we really are, none of us really had a direct experience. I will ask you who you are. You can say your name, you can say what you like, you can point out to your body, but in essence, the experience of who you are, this is something that most people are unaware of. They don't know who they are, really. They don't know what are they doing in this world, what they are in essence. They don't know. But, they know what they like, they know what they want to do, etc. But this brings confusion. That's why there is so much confusion in the world. There is, when you don't know yourself, then you don't have a sense of contentment. You don't have a stability. You are wandering in the world, but there is no happiness. You can never be happy if you don't know who you are. So enlightenment is synonymous with realizing who you are. And when I say realizing who you are, I don't mean like your name. I mean in essence, your consciousness. Your consciousness. And I will give you an example of what I mean.